The sky over Dirac 7 burned orange. Dust and ash floated through the thick air, the remains of yet another border clash between human forces and the Ixari nobles. Fires still crackled in the ruins of a once thriving alien trade outpost. Most of the soldiers had already moved on. Only the dead and the forgotten remained behind. Among the rubble walked a man named Baroness Vaelith. He was not a soldier. He was just a mechanic, a salvager, someone who fixed broken machines and hoped to find value in the scraps left by war. He carried a simple toolkit, a half-empty water canister, and a long metal rod for protection. Aaron didn't want to be part of any war. He just wanted to survive. As he stepped over a half-buried escape pod, he heard it. A sound, low and sharp, a growl, but also a whimper. Aaron stopped. He scanned the debris. A broken transport crate lay nearby, its side dented in. Black and white fur poked out from under the wreckage. He moved closer, cautious but curious. The creature inside the crate shifted and snarled weakly. It was massive like a tiger, but its stripes moved slightly, shimmering like ink in water. Its yellow eyes locked onto him. It was clearly in pain. Its front leg bled heavily, crushed under twisted metal. It could have pounced, but it didn't. It just stared. Aaron knew it was dangerous, maybe even deadly. But something in its eyes stopped him from turning away. It wasn't just a beast. It was scared. Without thinking, Aaron dropped to one knee and slowly reached for his canister. He slid it toward the creature. It didn't drink, but sniffed the water weakly. It was too injured to move much. "I won't hurt you," Aaron whispered, as if the beast could understand. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then slowly, the creature lowered its head. He knew he couldn't leave it there. Not to bleed. Out in the dust like garbage. With careful hands, he started pulling away the metal pinning its leg. The beast growled again, but not in warning. More like it was bracing itself. "Hang in there," he muttered. It took him 20 minutes to free the leg. Another 20 to wrap it in old bandages from his bag. Aaron worked silently, breathing through his teeth. If the creature changed its mind and attacked, he wouldn't stand a chance. But it didn't. When he finished, it collapsed beside him. Exhausted. "I'll call you Shade," he said, looking into its golden eyes. The name fit. Shade followed him back to his crawler, a half-broken hauler he'd fixed up for salvaging. It limped behind him, limping but alive. That night, Aaron made a small fire outside the crawler and shared what little food he had with the beast. It didn't eat much. It didn't make much noise either. Just watched him, as if studying him. What Aaron didn't know was that the creature was no ordinary animal. Its name was Rishar, and it belonged to one of the most powerful and feared Ixari nobles in the region, Baroness Vaelith. The beast was her war pet, trained for battle and protection. Loyal only to her. And it had gone missing during the surprise attack on the outpost. Vaelith was furious. Her pet was more than a beast. It was a symbol of her strength. And now it was gone. But Aaron? He knew nothing of this. To him, Rishar was just a hurt animal, a soul left behind by war. He didn't know his act of kindness would bring him face to face with the Baroness herself, or that the golden eyes watching him tonight once stood beside royalty. And soon, those same eyes would lead her to him. Not for mercy, but for judgment. The wind was cold the next morning as Aaron walked out of his crawler with a steaming cup of recycled coffee. Shade lay near the fire pit, still resting. Its breathing was slow and steady. The bandage on its leg was soaked in dried blood, but the worst of the bleeding had stopped. Aaron crouched beside it and checked the wound again. "You're healing fast," he whispered. "That's good." The beast opened one eye and let out a deep breath. It didn't growl. It didn't flinch. Aaron felt a strange calm in its presence now. He still didn't know what species it was, but it didn't matter. It was alive. And it trusted him. Later that day, while scavenging near the ruined fuel depot, Aaron found something odd. Strange claw marks in the dirt, massive, curved, too. Perfect to be natural. Something had landed here. Something heavy. Burn marks. Metallic dust. Traces of plasma discharge. Someone had arrived, and not long ago. He rushed back to the crawler. Shade stood alert, ears perked. The beast was sniffing the air. Its tail flicked slowly. It smelled something Aaron couldn't. "Easy, girl," he said. "It's just the wind." But Shade didn't relax. It growled low in its throat and turned toward the eastern ridge, eyes locked on the sky. That night, as Aaron tried to sleep, he heard the faint hum of distant engines. Not scavenger tech, not human either. Yxari. He sat up fast. He hadn't seen one in person before, only through old war broadcasts. Tall, elegant, deadly. The Ixari nobles ruled through fear and pride. They saw humans as lesser, no more than pests. And now they were near. Aaron stepped out of the crawler and stared at the horizon. A sleek floating skiff had landed by the edge of the hills. It shimmered with dark blue light, nearly silent, blending into the air like a ghost. Then he saw her. The figure walked with grace, her long cloak flowing like smoke behind her. Her eyes glowed gold beneath a crown of curved metal. Armor gleamed across her chest and shoulders, sculpted with gold and crystal. She wasn't a soldier. She was something higher, Baroness Vaelith, and she wasn't alone. 2 guards in black armor followed behind her, each holding plasma spears. Shade growled. The Baroness stopped, her golden eyes locked with the beast's. Aaron didn't understand at first. But the way Shade stood, the way its ears dropped low and tail curled, it wasn't anger. It was recognition, that she knew this woman. Aaron stepped between them without thinking. His hands were raised. "Hey, I don't want trouble." Vaelith didn't speak right away. Her gaze moved from Shade to Aaron. Her voice was cold but smooth, like ice over fire. "You found her." Aaron glanced at the beast. "I found it injured. Saved its life. She is not yours," the Baroness said. "She is mine." Aaron felt his throat tighten. "I didn't know. I thought she was just left behind." She was. But only a fool assumes what belongs to nobility can ever be abandoned. Shade let out a small noise, a soft cry. She stepped toward the Baroness, but stopped halfway and looked back at Aaron. Aaron couldn't explain the feeling, but something was wrong. Shade didn't look happy to see her old master. She looked torn, like a prisoner choosing between 2 cages. Vaelith raised one hand. The guard stepped forward. "You will return her." Aaron stood his ground. "If she wants to go, she can. But I won't let you hurt her." One of the guards raised a spear. Shade roared. In a blur, she leapt between Aaron and the soldiers, placing herself in front of him, baring her teeth. Her body rippled with energy, fur rising like lightning through her veins. The Baroness narrowed her eyes. "So, you've bonded," she said softly. "Interesting." Aaron didn't understand. But he knew this was no longer just about a wounded animal. He had touched something sacred, something owned. And the Ixari did not take that lightly. The Baroness turned away. "I will return for her," she said. "And for you." Then she was gone into the skiff, vanishing like mist in the dark sky. Aaron stood silent, heart pounding. Shade sat beside him. Not just a beast. Not just a pet. Something more. And now he was in the middle of something far greater than he could imagine. Aaron couldn't sleep. He sat inside his crawler, staring at the dark sky through a cracked window. Shade lay close by, quiet but alert. She hadn't left his side since the Baroness appeared. Her glowing eyes blinked slowly in the low light, watching him like she understood everything. Aaron kept hearing the Baroness's voice in his head. "I will return for her. And for you." He had no army, no weapons, no protection. Just an old crawler, his tools, and a beast who chose to stay. By his side, what had he gotten himself into? The next morning, Iran packed his things. Shade followed him closely. He didn't know where he was going, but staying here wasn't safe anymore. He needed to disappear, find somewhere far away from noble eyes. Somewhere even the Baroness wouldn't care to look. He drove through the dustlands for hours. The crawler groaned over broken terrain, and the sun burned through the cracked sky, but Iran didn't stop. He kept driving until the old border fence came into view. It was half destroyed. Rusted panels, bent metal poles, a few warning lights still flickering. USEL, ESSL. Beyond it was the waste's uncharted land. No laws, no nobles, no rules. Just silence, storms, and strange creatures. Exactly what he needed. Shade didn't seem afraid. As the crawler crossed into the wastes, she stood on the roof, scanning the land like a silent guardian, for 2 days. They traveled. Iran stopped only to eat, fix the crawler, and rest under thick blankets while Shade kept watch. He didn't ask her to. She just did, and each time he looked at her, he saw less of a beast and more of a companion. But peace never lasted long. On the 3rd night, they found shelter near a canyon. Jagged rocks formed a wall around them, blocking wind and sight from above. Iran set up a campfire and leaned back against the crawler, watching the flames dance. That's when Shade growled again. Low, warning. Iran grabbed his light and stood. The shadows beyond the rocks moved, quiet footsteps. Slow. Careful. He lifted his rod and stepped forward. Who's there? No answer. Then came a voice, calm but sharp. You have something that doesn't belong to you. Iran spun around. A figure stepped from the dark, cloaked in gray. Not Iksari noble armor, but close. Sleek, deadly. His face was hidden beneath a mask, and a plasma dagger pulsed at his side. A bounty hunter. Iran raised his hands. I don't want to fight. Too late, the man said. The Baroness wants her beast back. You should have walked away when you had the chance. Shade growled louder, stepping in front of Iran. The bounty hunter didn't flinch. He pulled out a small device and activated it. A loud buzzing sound filled the air, sharp, high-pitched, painful. Shade yelped in pain, dropping to her knees. The sound was controlling her, attacking her nerves. Stop it. Iran shouted. She's not your pet, the hunter said. She's a weapon, trained to obey. You think she chose you? She was made to bond, and she's about to be taken back. Iran didn't think. He lunged. The hunter struck him hard across the face, sending him tumbling into the dirt. Blood filled Iran's mouth, and his vision swam. He looked up just in time to see the hunter grab Shade by the neck, pressing the device close to her collar. Time to go home, little beast. But Shade wasn't done. With a sudden roar, she slammed her paw into the ground, breaking the rocks beneath them. Dust exploded upward. She twisted violently and snapped the device with her teeth. Sparks flew. The sound died. And then she attacked. Fangs flashed. Claws slashed. The hunter screamed as he flew across the canyon wall, his armor cracking under her strike. He tried to rise, but Shade pounced again, pinning him down. Her teeth hovered just inches from his throat. Iran limped forward. No, stop. Shade looked at him, breathing hard. He saw it again, that silent intelligence behind her eyes. She listened. She stepped back. The hunter crawled away, bleeding and gasping. You don't know what you've done. He vanished into the night. Iran dropped beside Shade, touching her fur gently. You saved me. She pressed her head against his shoulder. The bond was real, but now he understood. She wasn't just a pet. She was a weapon made by nobles, trained to kill, and now free. And that made her dangerous to all of them. The night was still and cold. After the fight, Iran sat near the campfire, bruised and quiet. Shade lay beside him, her breath steady but slow. She hadn't been injured, but she was tired. The fight had taken something from her, something deep inside. Iran stared into the flames. He wasn't just running anymore. He was being hunted. He wiped the blood from his lip and looked at his shaking hands. He had never fought anyone like that before. He was no hero, no soldier. Just a man who fixed broken things. And now he had something everyone seemed to want. He looked at Shade. She was more than a beast. She was a secret. A living weapon. A symbol of power for the Ixari nobles. The Baroness hadn't sent soldiers to retrieve her. She sent killers. Iran knew more would come. By morning, he had made a decision. "We need help," he whispered. Loading supplies into food, loading supplies into the crawler. He drove east, deeper into the wastes. There was only one place he could think of, an old contact. A former medic from the war, someone who owed him a favor. Her name was Dr. Nira Gellin. She used to treat wounded soldiers, both human and alien. She now lived alone, hidden in a mountain sector near the ice cliffs. If anyone could help them disappear, it was her. The journey took 2 days. The roads turned rough, then vanished completely. The crawler struggled, but Iran pushed it forward. Shade stood on the roof again, scanning the snowy lands like a silent queen. Cold wind tore at them, but neither of them stopped. On the third morning, they saw it. A metal tower, half buried in ice. Solar panels covered in frost. A signal beacon blinking weakly. Iran parked the crawler and knocked on the sealed door. Nothing happened. He tried again. Then a robotic voice answered. Name. Iran Vael. Reason. Help. The door clicked. Opened. Inside was warm and dim. Lights flickered. Steam hissed from the floor grates. Dr. Nira Gellin stepped into view. Her gray hair tied back, a welding mask hanging around her neck. Her eyes widened when she saw Shade behind Iran. What is that? She's hurt, Iran said, and being hunted. Nira looked at him carefully. You brought a Ixari beast to my door? She's not just a beast. She's different. Shade stood calmly, watching. Nira sighed. Bring her in. But if she kills me, I'll haunt you. Inside, Nira scanned Shade with her old tech. She frowned. She has neural implants, modified blood, combat-tuned organs. This is no ordinary pet. She's worth more than half a starship. I know, Iran said softly. That's why I need to keep her safe. Nira looked at him for a long moment. You bonded with her? Iran nodded. Then you're already marked, she said. The Ixari call it the soul chain. If a beast like her chooses you, you're linked. Spirit, memory, emotion. She protect you till death. And the nobles will never forgive that. Iran sank into a chair, head in his hands. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Nira walked over and handed him a drink. Life never asks what you mean, Vael. It just keeps going. She agreed to help. Gave Shade a sedative and began treatment for deeper nerve damage. Iran rested nearby, never letting her out of his sight. That night, while the tower buzzed quietly with machines, Iran sat by the window, watching snow fall outside. Shade rested on a medical pad, calm and peaceful. He realized something strange. He didn't feel afraid anymore. He felt responsible. She had saved him twice. Now, it was his turn. In the corner of the room, Nira tapped her console. Her eyes were serious. She wasn't just scanning Shade. She was scanning the neural frequency of the bond. And in the results, she saw something unexpected. Not just loyalty, not just memory, but something deeper. Something growing. Between man and beast, and it scared her. More than the Baroness ever could. Snow kept falling outside the tower, thick, silent, endless. Iran stood near the window with a blanket around his shoulders, watching the white storm swirl in the wind. Shade slept peacefully behind him, breathing soft and steady. Her treatment had worked. The deep pain in her leg was gone. The burn inside her nerves had faded, but something in the air felt different. He turned toward Dr. Nira Gellin. She sat in front of her old console, her eyes fixed on the glowing screen. The light made her face look tired, worried. "What is it?" Aaron asked. Nara didn't look up. "Your bond with her. It's changing." "How?" "It's stronger than it should be, faster too. Shade isn't just protecting you. She's syncing with you. She reacts to your mood. Your thoughts." Aaron frowned. "I didn't ask for that." "She did," Nira replied quietly. "She chose it." Before Aaron could speak, a sharp alarm blared from the control panel. The tower lights flickered. Red warnings appeared across the screen. "Incoming vessel," Nira said. "Fast approach. No ID. Stealth class." Aaron's stomach dropped. The Baroness? Or someone worse? Shade's ears twitched. She rose slowly from the medical pad, all signs of sleep gone from her golden eyes. Her muscles tightened. She was ready. Nira shut off all external signals. "They must have traced your crawler. Even hidden this deep, it wasn't enough. What do we do?" Aaron asked. "Hide," she said. "Get below." The tower had a hidden chamber under the lab, carved into the ice. It was small, cold, and filled with old mining gear, but it was shielded from scanners. They climbed down quickly. Shade went first, her large body moving silently through the narrow tunnel. Aaron followed, heart racing. Nira sealed the hatch behind. Then, just as the tower shook from above, engines roared. Metal creaked. Someone had landed. In the dark below. Aaron held his breath. He could hear footsteps above, soft, precise. Then a voice echoed through the tower. A voice he knew, Baroness Vaelith. "Come out, human," she said. "You have something I own." Shade growled low. Her body trembled with tension. Aaron looked at her. "She doesn't own you anymore." But the words couldn't stop the truth. The Baroness was here. The hatch above opened. Light spilled into the chamber. Cold air rushed down. Then a figure dropped inside. Not a soldier, not the Baroness. Girl, pale silver skin. Thin armor, blue eyes glowing faintly in the dark. She was younger than Aaron expected, but her movements were sharp-trained. She stared at Shade with no fear. "You've bonded with the Baroness's beast," she said. Aaron stood in front of Shade. "She's not a beast, she's my friend." The girl tilted her head. "Do you even know what she is?" "I know enough. She's not an animal. She was born in a lab, designed for war. She's a hybrid, part predator, part machine. She carries codes in her blood, that bond in your head. It links to her battle system. She can kill an army with a thought if you feel the right fear." Aaron felt his mouth go dry. "You didn't just save her," the girl continued. "You woke her up." Shade didn't move, but her eyes were locked on the girl. "You should have let her die," the girl said. Aaron clenched his fists. "Then you'll have to kill me too." The girl hesitated. Then lowered her weapon. "I'm not here to kill her, or you." "Then why come?" "Because I used to be like her, a project. A soldier. I escaped too." Shade blinked. "I was sent to test you," the girl said. "But now, I've seen enough." She pulled out a small silver disc and dropped it on the floor. "This will mask your bond signal for 48 hours. After that, they'll find you again." Aaron stared at her. "Why help us?" "Because monsters deserve a second chance," she whispered. "Even the ones they built." Then she was gone up the tunnel, vanishing into the storm. Aaron picked up the disc. Shade pressed her head against his side. Eyes tired, he wrapped his arms around her neck. They had a little time, but not much, and when that time ran out, they would face everything together. The storm outside was silent now. Inside the ice chamber, Aaron held the silver disc tightly. It glowed with a soft blue light. hiding their bond signal, just like the strange girl said. Shade sat beside him, calm but alert, her ears twitching every few seconds. She was ready to fight again if needed. But she didn't want to. Neither did Iran. 40-8 hours. That's how long the disk would protect them. And now, only 1 hour remained. Iran paced across the small icy room. We can't keep running. Dr. Nira sat on an old crate, her arms crossed. Then what's your plan? Face a noble who commands armies and hunts you like a thief. Iran looked at Shade. She's not a weapon anymore. She's more than what they made her. Nira sighed. I believe you, but that Baroness won't care. As the hour ended, the disk faded to black, and seconds later, the alarms screamed. They had been found. Above them, the ground rumbled. The tower shook violently. Snow fell from the ceiling. The ice walls groaned. Then came a sound none of them wanted to hear. A voice. It was clear, calm, and cruel. Human, the Baroness called. Bring her to me. Shade stood. Iran touched her fur. No, we leave together. But there was no place left to run. Nira looked at the two of them. Then maybe it's time to stop running. She opened a hidden hatch behind the crates, a long tunnel that led to the surface, behind the tower. Go, she said. I'll slow them down. Iran shook his head. You'll be caught. Let them try, Nira said with a smirk. I treated nobles and soldiers. I know their weaknesses. Iran grabbed her hand. Thank you. He and Shade ran through the tunnel. The cold air outside hit them like knives, but they didn't stop. The sun was rising over the snow cliffs, painting everything gold and white. Iran saw a clear ridge ahead. If they reached it, they might have a chance. But the Baroness was already there. She stood in the snow, alone this time. No guards, no ships. Just her, and her golden eyes. You bonded with her, she said. You stole something sacred. Iran stood in front of Shade. I didn't steal her. She chose. The Baroness raised her hand. A ring on her finger began to glow. Shade cried out and collapsed. Her body twitched, frozen in place. Pain. She still carries my command chain, the Baroness said coldly. She cannot betray me. Iran rushed to Shade and held her head gently. Her breath was shallow, her eyes full of pain. No, he said. Let her go. She is mine, the Baroness said. Made in my labs, born in my world. Her mind, her blood, her claws, all belong to me. Iran looked up at her. You're wrong. He reached into his jacket and pulled out the broken control device from the bounty hunter. He had repaired it secretly during the nights while Shade slept. But he hadn't reactivated it. He had changed it. He held it up. If you think you can own her, then you don't understand her at all. He pressed the button. The signal inside the device didn't control Shade. It freed her. A pulse of light spread across her body. The pain stopped. The collar on her neck snapped off and fell into the snow. She stood. The Baroness stepped back, eyes wide. Impossible. Shade let out a roar so deep it echoed off the ice cliffs. Then she walked forward, not to attack but to stand between Iran and the Baroness. Calm, strong, free. The Baroness raised her arm again, but Shade growled once. Low and sharp, the Baroness. Stop. Her hand trembled. You turned her against me, she whispered. No, Iran said. You never had her. You only controlled her. I respected her. The Baroness stared at them for a long moment. Then she lowered her hand. And turned away. Without another word, she walked back to her ship and vanished into the white sky. Iran fell to his knees, breathing hard. Shade gently pressed her head to his chest. It was over. She was free, and so was he. Later that evening, the two of them stood on a high cliff, looking out at the endless snow. Nira joined them, a fresh pack slung over her shoulder. So, she said, what now? Iran smiled softly. We find a quiet place. somewhere without collars or nobles or wars. Shade licked his face gently. And together, the human and the beast walked into the wind, not as master and pet, but as equals. As friends, and as a bond no one could ever break again.